We have a guest speaker today, and there's so many ways that I can describe Brock Ford. He is the chair of the membership committee at Anton. He's related to New Thought Network, and he is doing an outreach ministry in California, which I'll tell you a little bit about. And perhaps the most exciting thing is his new show on the New Thought Media Network debuted this week. It's the Spiritual Toolkit. I'm not going to tell you anything about that. I'm going to let Brock Ford tell you about it himself. Please join me in welcoming Reverend Dr. Brock Ford.
Thank you very much, Bill. And thank you everyone for having me back. It's an honor and a blessing to be here. And I already feel like if I walked away right now, we all had church and had a great time. So, but hey, I've got something to say, so don't leave yet. But at any rate, thank you very much. So y'all, happy Pride, happy Father's Day, and happy Juneteenth tomorrow, right? I actually chose this topic because I believe that it encompasses every aspect of life and how we show up in the world. It's important as we celebrate diversity, LGBTQ+, civil and human rights. So 2 words, spirit and ethics. Such small, simple words for such big, important concepts, right? So spirituality allows us to develop a meaningful connection with something bigger than ourselves. Spirituality reminds us that our life is a divine gift with great value. And y'all, it points us to life's greater purpose. It teaches us that every one of us is connected in divine presence. So spiritual living is moving through life with an awareness that we are part of the connected universality of all that is around us. The knowledge that I am connected to everything, that spirit resides within me, is what got me through the tough times in my life, especially after I came out as gay at the age of 22. I have to take a deep breath sometimes even thinking about it. But as a young man growing up in Memphis, Tennessee, I had strong ties to my Southern Baptist family. Y'all, my grandfather was a Baptist minister, my mother the organist, and my aunt was the piano player. And about the age of 5, as best I can remember, I was told that I couldn't play with that little boy who had just moved in down the street, the first Black family in the neighborhood. Well, y'all, I went anyway with my truck in my hand. And a few seconds later, a few minutes later, I guess it was, I was quickly dragged home by my grandpa, who gave me a whooping after we got back home and told me, "You can't play with those people." I didn't understand that then. And I didn't feel that that was right in my heart. And then later in life, as a teenager, I learned that my family believed that gay people were an abomination, the worst sinners and worthy of death. And y'all, I kept very silent because deep inside I knew that I was one of those people too, and I didn't want to be exposed. At the age of 22, I did reveal my truth after being asked by my grandmother. Shattered my life and my family relationships from that day forward. I was assaulted by the men in my family and told to leave town. My family, except for my mother and my older sister, declared they would rather see me dead than to disgrace the family and my grandpa's church. So I sort of fled or moved, however you want to look at it, to Dallas, and I started a new life. I made a new family and eventually moved to San Francisco. And y'all, over the years with this personal history, I realized my mission is to support and show love to gay people, to help families learn how to have new relationships with their so-called different family members, and to make sure that every person of color knew that I loved them and supported them. And that's what my ministry has been about, helping others realize the divine within them, that they are loved, they are honored, and they are accepted. And I offer spiritual and ethical principles to help them create healing and their best life. So when we're in a state of spiritual living, we hold on to that light that spirituality shines on us, and we carry the warmth from that spark it has ignited inside us. We are guided and informed by spirit, and we can reflect on that warmth and light back into the world. We often describe the kinds of activities that are indicative of spiritual living with terms like love, compassion, patience, forgiveness, humility, and concern for others' well-being. And that's a big order. Moving through this world, behaving with kindness and compassion all the time, right? Well, I've got good news, y'all. It's easier than you might think, because the divine, however you experience it, is trying to embrace you too. As we nurture our spiritual strength and values, our connection to Creator from within us also grows, giving us the power we need to live an ethical life of purpose and fulfillment. And that's when, y'all, we can see the humanity in everyone that we meet. Our compassion grows, and we see that diversity is a blessing and a great richness in our world. Black, brown, white, gay, straight, trans, cisgendered, everyone is connected through spirit. So this is why the title of my message is Spiritual and Ethical Living, because I believe that spiritual and ethical living are linked together, supporting and growing each other in an internal cycle, just like parent and child. Spiritual living is ultimately a deeply personal search for an expression of God. It speaks to us internally, in our heart, in our head, and in our soul. Ethical living is the external expression of spiritual awareness and strength. It's how we project our spiritual growth outward into the world with our hands, our words, and our actions. So to live in the world ethically, it often requires spiritual work, accepting and embracing the truth of humanity's oneness, despite experiences we may or may not share. Remember how I said just a few seconds ago how spiritual and ethical living are connected, like parent and child? Can you see how connection to spirit, realizing our shared oneness, motivates us to live ethically and with compassion? Somebody shake your head, yes. Yes. So as we move ethically through life with love and empathy, our connection to spirit is deepened. And I believe this is also a beautiful message for Father's Day, the day we honor the dads who protect and provide for our most valuable resource, our children, and hopefully educating and, yes, sometimes correcting, but empowering, supporting, loving their children unconditionally, so they in turn go forth into the world as compassionate, capable, loving people. Y'all, this is the eternal cycle of spiritual and ethical living. So if you can find it in yourself to live in a state you know to be ethical, even if it's just a little bitty bit, smile, show compassion to a stranger, help someone without expecting a reward. And pride is a perfect opportunity to take these ethical steps. Remember, you can be an ally for LGBTQ folks. Let the light of the divine in you radiate your support. Look into the faces, as Bill said a few minutes ago, and see the people, see their humanity, see God in them. And as you honor their lives, you are living ethically. Begin to ask questions, to learn more about people, to understand them more fully. And this is how the spiritual and ethical circle grows and deepens and continues. And the benefit of ethical living, y'all, is astounding. Ethical living, which grows from our spirituality, teaches us empathy. Ethical living contains the essence of compassion and the desire to alleviate the suffering of others and to promote their well-being. Do you believe that? Thank you. I see some heads shaking. When we are living ethically, we refrain from causing harm to others' experience of expectation or their happiness. We cultivate these values. We are living and growing spiritually in our heart and in our soul. And we are living and growing ethically in the world around us. So spiritual and ethical practice combines, when you put them together, y'all, transforms and perfects us. We become better human beings. And in doing so, we let our own unique light shine to all we encounter, leaving them with a blessing. While I was in seminary at Emerson, I read the book Ethics for the New Millennium by the Dalai Lama. This book gave me a roadmap to connect even deeper into the consciousness of the divine and the power of knowing that all good and power are within me. So my purpose is to support others in a deeper ethical way that encourages, that loves, and to see the face of God in others and their desire for happiness and good life. So I made a conscious decision to walk every single day, living deeply in spiritual and ethical principles. Because when I'm living in spiritual and ethical conduct, life is better. Amazing things happen. Transformation happens, and a great life happens. And y'all, that's what I'm believing for every one of us here today. Yes? Yes. So we can make the world a better place, y'all. I know that sounds like a slogan, but we can make the world a better place for everyone. Because when we recognize spirit as our whole being, our heart, our mind, and our thoughts, that particular belief changes our actions and the way we engage with others out in the world, no matter who they love, no matter their political views, no matter race or religious differences. It becomes easy to see the divine in everyone. So I suggest we ask ourselves this question as we move through our daily life. Am I behaving spiritually right now? Am I practicing the principles that I know to be spiritually true? And even more important, does my behavior ethically reflect what my spirituality teaches? So the key to this enlightenment, y'all, is uniting spiritual thought with ethical action. When we exhibit this practice in times of adversity, when faced with disagreements, we can offer tolerance, we can offer forgiveness, having a conversation versus getting all upset and having an argument. And the way to achieve this is truly practice being present with one another. Presence. We hear that a lot in New Thought. But being present with someone, that mindful, empathetic act, no matter the label of gay, bi, straight, trans, y'all, it creates a place of healing. It creates a place of connection. And this is how we learn to navigate our life in a way that uplifts and encourages and supports others. I know that in New Thought, we don't discriminate against anyone, right? We see everyone as the perfect spiritual child of God. And in Scripture, Jesus said to love one another. Jesus said to love one another. To me, that's it. It's pretty clear, right? Love one another. However, the LGBTQ community and other communities as well are still being targeted, disenfranchised, and condemned. As a result, it's imperative, I believe, that Pride continues to gain even greater awareness, visibility, equality, and integration. So I ask you today, what would happen if you made it your practice to show up as your best self every single day, offering love, offering encouragement to those you love and to those you don't even know? What would that look like? Can you get a sense of that? How would that feel? in your soul and in your heart. Just take a deep breath with me real quick. What would it look like and feel to you to show up as your best self every day, encouraging people? So I encourage you to take your spiritual and ethical practice and put it into the form, put it into work, actually, in the form of loving kindness. Put your actions and words to the test. Y'all, it's sort of like we're in school right now. Does it bring about harmony for others? Does it hurt anybody? The words and the actions that you're taking, does it hurt anyone? Does it support people? Because I support you, each and every one of you here today, living in spiritual and ethical behavior, passionately and intentionally. And y'all, sometimes we have to make that intention when we get up to do that, because it's not always just something that we do. So allow love to rise up in you. Let compassion flow from you. See, feel, and experience the humanity of all of us. And you will be transformed, y'all. And not only that, you will and can be the conduit, the vehicle of transformation for others to have this enlightenment. So let someone know that you love them and support the LGBTQIA+ community this month and every day going forward. With that said, are you ready to go out into the world with your spiritual and ethical hat on, honoring all people and making a difference today? Yes. Shake your head so I can see you. Yes. So I encourage you, take whatever one word or syllable or a phrase that you got from me today. And the most important thing is to show your love, to show that you're an ally during this month and every day for people that are disenfranchised. And know that the love you show and the love that you put out comes back to you 100-fold. Honor all people. Happy Pride. And so it is. Thank you, y'all, for letting me speak today.
Let us take as our thought for today, to as many as believed, gave he the power. And let us see if we cannot come into a consciousness of the divine presence right where we are, that we are one with it, and that it now is meeting all our needs. As we quietly turn to this presence, let us put all other thoughts out of the mind and listen deeply, joyfully, and expectantly, while each says to himself, I believe in the power greater than I am. I believe in the divine presence in which I live and move and have my being. I am thinking back to the center of my being, where this presence exists in all its beauty and in all its peace. I know that divine intelligence helps me to control my thinking and causes me to live with joy and in calm expectancy of good. I am permitting myself to be guided by this intelligence. As I wait on it and let it flow through me and out into action, I know that I shall be guided in everything I do. I know I shall bless everyone I meet. I shall bring new life to every situation I contact. To as many as believed, gave he the power. My whole mind and thought responds to this with complete conviction, and I feel that today and every day the power of the living Spirit flows through me and makes perfect the way before me, radiating love and joy to everyone and to everything.